You know you've thought about it, or at least one of your partners have. Have you ever thought about having a threesome? Well, if you have, this video is for you. Here are 7 tips if you are thinking about having a threesome. Hi all, my name is Carrie of Carrie Sutras, and I give sex and relationship advice with BIPOC and queer folk in mind. And with that being said, we're going to talk a lot about the luscious and lavishness of being in a threesome. But before I begin, please remember to click the link, subscribe, and hit the bell, because it really sends this stuff through the YouTube channels and gets the word out about the information I'm talking about here, which I think is so important. And it is a great way for the two of us to just vibe and connect, because I really like when we vibe together. I really do. Threesomes. It can bring up a lot of different emotions depending on where you're sitting in the space of it. I mean, I know that for me, I always had the desires and the wants to have a threesome, but let me tell you, it almost took my relationship to the brink of its existence. So if you want to hear what happened to me and our relationship, stay tuned to the end, because I'm definitely going to touch on that. Now, the idea of threesomes can be really exciting and be about an adventure, or it can bring up chills and really intrepidations and experiences of fear for you. So let's take some of that away, some of that fear out of the game, and talk about what it can be if you have the experience of a threesome. Well, a threesome can look like this. It can look like this. It can look like this, or my personal favorite, this. You know, what I mean by that is a threesome doesn't just have to be either boy-boy or boy-girl. It can be boy-boy-boy. It can be in all different kinds and shapes of interactions that we want it to be in. So a part of being in a threesome, if you're even having a conversation or thinking about it, is staying in a space of openness. So that's where this begins. So tip number 1 is just that. Being able to stay open. What I mean by being able to stay open is about you and your partner being able to discuss sex at all. You should be able with your partner to be talking about what you enjoy, what your needs are, what your desires are, and how you want them to be met. That should be a very easy flow between the two of you if you're going to be talking about having a threesome. It should be a space where you guys are just able to talk and it's an easy flow. As if it's not, having a threesome is a challenge. You may not want to go there quite yet until you're feeling comfortable with your twos in your sexuality and the ways that you want to experience sex. Tip number 2, be open enough to talk about your pain points and jealousy. I'm going to just put that right out there. When you are opening up your relationship to experience another partner, like somebody else is going to be touching that body that you have claimed, that is a very natural way of thinking. And you or the potential, I should say, to have feelings about that may come up. And so if that is something that is real, get that elephant out of the room. Talk about why both of you want to be in this experience. Talk about what may not feel good to you, in what you want to see, in how both of you are interacting with this person, that you're bringing in this special unicorn or this special light person who's coming in. Take a look at what that's going to look like, and how do you think you're going to feel watching another person interact with your partner. The discussion that you have before you're even in it will help you guys deal with what might come up. And it speaks to, are you guys ready? You know, if you can have an open relationship and admit that those feelings might be there, you've you've won. It's half the battle won right there. Tip number 3, do a relationship evaluation. What do I mean by that? Well, a relationship evaluation is to really go in and once again have those challenging conversations. The two of you sit down and talk about what is really happening between the two of you. Do you feel love and safe enough that the two of you are okay to open up to this new delicious experience of inviting another partner in? Who really wants it? Is it evenly that you want to have the experience, or is it something that you're just kind of going along with? So opening up to that conversation will help as well as you guys start planning for a threesome. Tip number 4 is setting up a comfort level. Yeah, this is a biggie, guys. What I'm talking about here is, can you both drop into the experience of a threesome? Do you see it as an adventure or something titillating, a new way to get some sexual experience and have some fun? Or is it really a space that makes you feel a little bit anxious? It's not necessarily a reflection of what you want in your relationship or for yourself. It's also about talking about you. What is it that you are feeling when you think about being with another person? Are you attracted to more than one partner? Is it a fantasy of yours to have, a bisexual experience being with another woman or another man? Whatever that looks like for you. But have the conversation. Feel into what comes up for you when you think about that. Offer yourself some real safety if you're not feeling it, and some desire, and yes, if you are. Tip number 5, set boundaries. Before you get into the experience of having a threesome, it's a great idea for the two of you to talk about how do you want to create a safe space for you and your partner. What are the boundaries? How much are you going to allow to happen and not happen in the expression? I know for the first time that I had a threesome, I was all the way in. I knew that I had wanted to be in a sexual experience with a woman, and that being with my partner who is male or who is male, it was wonderful for us, but I really wanted that next piece, that extra desire. So for us, he was a little bit more hesitant in the beginning. Even though, of course, he thought, yay, I get to be with 2 women, he wasn't exactly sure of what to expect. So we went in not with the understanding that it was going to be a full-blown thing. We went in just saying, hey, let's just have a makeout session first. Let's see how this feels between myself, my friend who we invited into our relationship, and see if the vibe was right. You know what happened? Not only was the vibe right, it was all right. And we ended up taking it further than what that makeout session with everybody in consent and feeling really good. But what that did allow was it gave my partner a chance to just feel in. It took some of the pressure off that he would have to perform if he didn't feel the vibe right. And actually he did, and we just went all the way in. It was a good time, y'all. It was a great time. Having the conversation about what do you need to feel safe is also very important. What is it that's going to make you and your partner and your third who's coming in feel like this is a wonderful experience for the both of you? You can't denounce that idea of what those boundaries are going to create, and it gives everybody a safe space to start from. Tip number 6. Make sure that all participants are considered equal. I can't stress this one enough. Make sure that everyone feels cherished, that feels worshipped in the experience. Pay attention to both partner and the other person. Because sometimes it's easy when you have somebody new involved to focus all your attention on them and not necessarily move through the connection of each other. It really is a dance that can be so enjoyable, but that conscious effort, that real just reaching out and being an appreciation of each participant goes a long way to making sure that everybody has a sexy and satisfied time. And the most important tip, I think anyway, is tip number 7, which is do a check-in. Keep checking in all through the experience. Ask how each person is feeling. Offer up a space so that even in the moment, as you guys are in the experience, you are resourcing each other, asking if they liked how they've been touched, asking if they want to take a break, asking how are they feeling, do they feel included. The key to having a great threesome, if you haven't figured it out yet, is all about communication. You gotta keep talking. You gotta keep feeling into each other's cues to make sure that everybody is satisfied and happy and sustained and feeling safe. Safe. That's the big one. So at the end of the day, at the end of the experience, do a check-in. Make sure that you feel good and that everybody who's had the experience feels good too. A threesome can be a great way to explore and expand and add spice and delight to your sexual experience. It's a great way for you to meet and fulfill all of your sexual desires and really open yourself up for newness and creating a really delicious space in your present relationship as well. What it is recognizing that love and sex can be experienced in more than just one binary way. It is so okay to open up to these greater expressions of ourselves, and that being in love and lust, they can coincide. It can create a beautiful and fulfilling experience for everyone. Love on all. Love on. Thank you if you stayed on till closer to the end and wanted to know about my own disaster story. Like, we've had some really good threesomes, myself and my partner. For myself, it's the best space and expression of like sexual energy for me. I love the idea or the feeling of having both male and female energy in one space and at one time. It really is the height of my turn on. But we got involved in an experience where our partner wasn't so sure. And in fact, she was more wanting to be with my partner, and she wanted the male experience, which was perfectly fine. But we got involved in this threesome and we're having this experience more than once with this particular person. And our relationship at the time, meaning myself and my primary partner, wasn't very strong. So what ended up happening was she was able to create a lot of dissonance between the two of us. She started telling him stuff about me that she said I was saying, and things got lost in the translation. I don't want to, throw that person under the bus, but let's say there was a lot of confusion caused because we weren't communicating in a very real way. And so what my cautionary tale with that was, because it literally sent us to the point where we almost broke up. I was so disillusioned because he stopped listening to me. He started hearing everything that she had to say and just wasn't hearing me anymore. So what I caution is, bring it back. You've got to keep talking. It was only after him and I sat down and really had a chance to talk about what was happening, and also then sat down with her, that we understood that what she was feeling was that she wanted something deeper with him. and not really involve me. And that just didn't fit with what we wanted in our space. So we had to make some challenging decisions where we ended up letting go of the relationship. But it didn't come until we had had the talk. So the key, and I say it again, is keeping talking. You got to keep both sides, both of you interacting and sharing what you're feeling, even in the moment of intimacy and beyond. It's so important.